book. It's called Abuse Awareness, Removing the Cover. She talks candidly about being a victim of domestic abuse, but she also focuses on what it took to get her out of that situation, because you can get out of that situation. So she is joining us now this morning to share what 3 things that she focused on to take her life back. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So this is a work that you do that is very close to your heart because of your personal story. Can you share that with us?
Yes. Well, I was in domestic violence for a number of years of my life, and I had to make a decision to get out of that. And it was a very difficult decision because of me being in there for so many years. Was
this a husband or a boyfriend? Or?
Yes, my husband. And I was married a few times, and each time it was domestic abuse. It was either physical or mental.
Do you feel like you started to choose men that were like that for specific reasons? So it actually has a lot to do with the mind of the victim, right? Like you have to get straight in your head.
That's right.
Isn't that part of what you teach?
You're absolutely right. You have to get it in your head, because if you are a person that is a victim, that's the kind of people that you will attract in your life.
Right.
If you are that.
So how do you break the chain?
Well, I broke the chain. First thing, I had to identify for myself, I had to choose not to be abused and not to be a victim, because it is a choice.
Right.
First thing I had to do. Then I had to decide what I wanted and what I didn't want. I did not want to be a victim or be abused anymore. So I had to know, what did I want? It's easier for me to do something in a positive manner than to say what I don't want. And then I had to take responsibility for the choices that I did make, because after all, the ultimate choice is yours, because you have a choice.
So Latifah, those are perfectly laid out tips and that people can follow, but as you know from being in it, it's hard to it's easy to say that that's what you want to do, but really hard to execute with all of it, because sometimes they feel that the need to be pulled back into it. Maybe they're not worthy of something better. Did you have someone helping you? Did you have a mentor or someone that you...
Yes, actually, I did go to therapy, because I knew something was wrong, because it kept repeating itself, and I kept finding myself in this victim role and being abused. So I had to take that initiative to, after I found out, okay, this is what I don't want. So I did go to therapy. I had to change some of the things around in my life to continue to go on and not be a victim. It does take time. It's not something that happens overnight. It took me a long time to get through that. But it has to be consistency. You have to go within yourself. You have to find some self-love. And that's very important. Because when you don't love who you are, how do you expect someone else to love you? How do you know how to love when you don't love who you are? So it all starts from within yourself. Instead of dealing with a man and saying, oh, wow, you know, this person is going to make me happy or make me feel good about who I am, you go within yourself and love who you are, and then you know what you want, so then you can start from there.
Were you scared? I'm sorry.
Yes, very much so, very much so. It's a lot of work, and it's continuous work.
Yes.
And I cannot say, oh, I'm going to graduate from that, because I know I won't graduate from that, because I will always have to resort back to, hey, this is about me. It's about loving who I am. And anyone that comes on board with that would have to see that. It's because I'm coming on board with you doesn't mean that you take over my life. I'm still an individual. I still love who I am.
Now, I know you go to schools and women's groups and you speak on this topic all over the place frequently. What would you say to somebody who may have a friend who may see someone going through like this?
Well, I would, if there's a friend going through that, I would try to observe that first. I would see there's certain things about a victim. They may have low self-esteem. They may be very aggressive towards you. They may be sometimes they'll be withdrawn and defensive when you ask them certain things.
Right.
So you have to look for certain signs, and they won't tell you, because what it is, sometimes we have what we call a learned helplessness. You learn to be helpless, and you take what you have, you take the other person's burden and you put it on yourself, and you blame yourself for your mate's abuse.
Okay.
Well, Latifah, I hope that if just one person was watching today and is inspired by your story to get out of the cycle themselves, then I'm so glad for that. And thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate being
Thank
here.
you.
Again, the name of Latifah's book is Abuse Awareness, Removing the Cover. And where can we get the book?
It's on Amazon.com. You can go to Amazon, put my name in, and all of my books will come up because I have 5 books total.
Including a workbook.
Including a workbook.
Good. Latifah Hameen, thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome.
Okay, coming up next, some great advice to get your professional networking off to a great start in 2014. It's going to be your year. Stick around.